Okay, so if you're anything like me, you just want to breeze through the videos and keep learning tricks because hopefully we've been amazing people by now. But I just want to stop you for a second and address a few performance theory topics because I want to see how we can elevate these tricks that we just learned into something more powerful, okay? So the first issue is recapping the events at the end of the trick, okay? This has the power to create a memory which is much more powerful from what actually happened, okay? So for instance, if we were to go to the first trick we learned, and we go here, imagine that at the beginning of the trick you give the deck to shuffle to someone, and they can do that because it can be a borrowed deck, complete, not complete, you know the story, right? So when we get to the end, we can frame it in a way that it seems as though they could have shuffled any time, or that they did shuffle any time, right? And that's all in how we frame it, right? You can say, look, you shuffle the deck, you pick the card, you shuffle the deck, you put it back in the deck, you know, that kind of thing. And you could even, at the point where you're here, you could even give it to them to poke it in the deck, right? So yeah, when you get here, you can recap and possibly not exaggerate, but make it more dramatic. Okay, so the next thing is believing that what you're doing is impossible or crazy or whatever you want to feel, okay? I addressed this slightly at the end of the last lesson, but let's get into a situation. For example, let's go into the prediction one. When you're at the end, you truly have to believe you're a sort of mirror for your spectator or your audience, okay? And whatever you feel, you have a good chance of making them feel like that, right? So here, if I feel like, oh, this is just a trick, it was set up from beforehand and I didn't have to do much, it just happened on its own, that's what people are gonna feel. But if I stop here and I say at the very beginning, I put something, a prediction aside, and you let that mystery sink in, and then you slowly, and this is about the next thing I'm gonna talk about, okay? And slowly take it and you believe that what's about to happen, if this is the card, it's crazy, and it's exactly, maybe you look at it first, you know, making that kind of tension. Okay, so that takes me to the next thing, which is setting the tone. Okay, and this depends much on your personality. Oh, by the way, I don't want you to go right away, I don't expect you to go right away and include all of these things and make this like artistically sublime but I do want these concepts to be in your mind, present at some point, because in the next lessons we're going to slowly start applying them. Okay, so the other thing is setting the tone or timing, okay? We could go on for ages about this topic, but let's address a part of it, okay? So the timing is the way in which, I'm gonna go back to this example because I was talking about that, is the rhythm in a sense, okay? So if you just go and take the card and that was your card, and I predicted it from the beginning, that's something, but it's missing that theatrical tone and drama, okay? But if we, instead of that, we pause, right? We've done the first part of the effect. There's the 3/4s or the 3/5s or whatever. Then we look at it. We look back, perhaps, right? This all depends on the personality that you have, or the personality that you want to have when you're performing magic, okay? These are all things that you want to think about as you're getting further into your magical career, okay? So you just slowly look at it, take it, maybe look at it first, or maybe go and look at it and you're nervous, you know. This is all things you can play around with, and it really changes the tone, and it can make it way more powerful, way more powerful. Same thing with the other trick. I talked about this in the first lesson. Yeah, you're here, you go and look at it, and maybe you go ugh, or whatever, you know, whatever suits you, and then you say, wait, what is your card? Oh, the 8 of clubs. Yeah, good. And the last thing I want to talk about is the presentation. And we're just going to touch a bit on this, and in the next lesson we're going to get into more detail. But I just want you to think about this concept, okay? However you present the trick to suit you or to match the feeling that you want to create, whatever. Maybe you want them to feel the most amazed, or perhaps you want them to laugh. I don't know. Whatever you want, okay? Well, the presentation is a key element to make that happen, okay? Because you can present it as like this trick, for example, the first one we learned, you can bring the cards from behind your back and not act as if it was a mistake. That's the presentation I gave you, but you can think of another way to do it. Perhaps you just want to come out and be like, right away, just say, I turned all of the cards face up, right? I like it like this because it suits me, but you're gonna find your way. And in the next video, that's what we're gonna talk about, okay? So I'll see you there.